Unfortunately, with the Denver Nuggets defeating the Portland Trail Blazers, we have to just realize the situation here. If Damian Lillard wants to win a championship, he is going to have to leave the Portland Trail Blazers. Now, the question is, does he want to leave the Portland Trail Blazers because he's built a reputation on being with this team, being loyal, being like a Tim Duncan kind of guy, Dirk Nowitzki kind of guy, where they stay with one organization forever and they potentially bring at least one championship. As you can see, there is a new era upon us in the NBA. You see teams like the Phoenix Suns, the Dallas Mavericks, and the Denver Nuggets, even with an injured Jamal Murray, are on the rise. These teams are not going anywhere, and he's going to have to go through these teams. And he has proved that it's going to be difficult. He broke through once by making it to one, Western Conference Finals, where I think he got swept by the Warriors. There's no shame in losing to the Golden State Warriors. But if he wants to win, he's going to have to leave. Does he do a James Harden? Demand a trade, act a fool, and say, hey, to the point where they have no choice but to trade him? Does he do like Anthony Davis, play the season out after he asks for a trade, get traded? Or does he, go quietly and get traded away? I don't know what type of person he is. It doesn't seem, on outside, looking at his character, it doesn't seem like he's the type of guy to be a bad, rotten apple and, pout his way out of a situation. He is stuck in with the Portland Trail Blazers through good times. And I won't say a lot of bad times because they've had a lot of success, in the regular season. It's just when he gets to the playoffs, the success is not there. The biggest question everyone wants to know is what teams can he go to? If you see on social media, people are already speculating that Damian Lillard can be on the move. The Chicago Bulls, I don't see it happening. Because, one, why would Kawhi and Damian Lillard want to go to Chicago Bulls? Because you have Vucevic there, but it's going to have to take the Bulls getting rid of either Kobe White or Zach LaVine to bring in Damian Lillard. And if I'm the Portland Trail Blazers, I want at least 3 first-round picks. That's where we're starting at to get Damian Lillard 3 first-round picks. And who can offer him that? Because Jrue Holiday, when he was with the New Orleans Pelicans, he got up out of there, and they got 3 first-round picks from the Milwaukee Bucks. Most people believe that Damian Lillard is a far better offensive player than Jrue Holiday. I don't know about and maybe a better leader, but defensively, Jrue Holiday is one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. He garnered 3 first-round picks. What is the team going to give up? Because if you don't have 3 first-round picks, there's not a conversation that the Portland Trail Blazers should have. And I'm looking for the best interest of the Portland Trail Blazers. If they were to trade him, what can they get back in return? So let's start with the Lakers. The Lakers, they have no picks. So for him to go to the Lakers, it's going to be very impossible for them to even garner up a deal. Who do you have to offer? Kyle Kuzma? Dennis Schroeder's a free agent, so that's not going to work. So right there, they're not going to trade AD. So they have nothing that the Portland Trail Blazers will want that can help them build towards the future. Not a first round pick in sight. Next, we have the New York Knicks. Julius Randle's a free agent. They're probably going to max him out. Unless you can bring in another superstar, what are the Knicks going to do? Now, the Knicks do have picks. They have RJ Barrett. Obi Toppin looks promising. Emmanuel quickly. If I'm the Knicks, I'm offering 3 first-round picks, 2 pick swaps, something like a Paul George type of deal. Do you want RJ Barrett? I would try hard to keep RJ Barrett and say, here, I'll give you quickly. I'll give you Toppin. I'll give you 3 first-round picks. I'll give you 2 pick swaps. And I'll take on a contract. That's what I would do. Of an expired contract where you can maybe include Carmelo Anthony. I know he would love to go back home to play for the New York Knicks. That's an ideal fit. But are the Portland Trail Blazers willing to just take Emmanuel quickly and Obi Toppin? I would take the 3 first-round picks. The 2 pick swaps will work. A team that definitely could pull off this trade is the New Orleans Pelicans. The New Orleans Pelicans, they have a lot of young talent at the same positions, and they have the cap space to do it. Now, does Damian want to go play with a young team? Could he pull a Chris Paul and maybe go to like Chris Paul went to the Phoenix Suns? They had Devin Booker and Ayton, and he rises them to the top of the West. Would he want to play with Zion? Would he want to play with Ingram? Obviously, you get rid of Lonzo. Lonzo's a restricted free agent, so they can't even maybe a sign and trade would work. But I don't think he wants to go to Portland. His dad, LeVar Ball, wants him in a big market. But the Pelicans could be a fit. You have Dame. You probably re-sign Josh Hart. You go Ingram, Zion. You still got Jackson Hayes. You still have Steven Adams. That could be a formidable team. But does that put you above the Nuggets in the West? Because Jamal Murray's coming back. Michael Porter Jr. is rising. Jokic is playing like an MVP. I don't think that's the right move. A good move possibly could be the Miami Heat. Miami Heat, you have Jimmy Butler. You have Bam. And just add and Dame. That's going to be a great team. Tyler Hero, they're going to have to come up off of him. I don't know why they think that he's Michael Jordan. I don't see Michael Jordan tendencies in Tyler Hero. But for him to be untouchable, they could have got Harden. Now, this is going to be the second time in a row that if they're unwilling to give up Tyler Hero, they're not getting Damian Lillard. And I want the picks. Miami Heat has a few picks. I want 3 picks. I want Tyler Hero. I would sign Kendrick Nunn's a free agent, so you can't trade him. I would take one of the young prospects, maybe Precious Achiuwa, and we can go from there. Now, if you have Bam, Jimmy Butler, Dame, that's going to be a competitive team. If they can retain Duncan Robinson, who's also a free agent, how would that work? And lastly, a team that can definitely do it, that needs another superstar, is the Dallas Mavericks. You go Luka and Dame on the same team with Porzingis. That's going to be a formidable team. Add whoever you want. Keep Finney-Smith, keep Hardaway Jr., you go Dame, you go Luka, Finney-Smith, Porzingis, sign a big, you have a team. Now, that's probably the most likely destination because all these teams, if you look at the landscape of the NBA, they're filled at point guard. The Grizzlies are not calling. The Denver Nuggets are not calling. Maybe Utah Jazz, but the Portland Trail Blazers are not going to take Mike Conley back. Not happening. He can't go home to the Bay and play for the Warriors. They have Steph there. The Clippers, they have no picks. The Suns, would they really trade Chris Paul? Or Chris Paul's a free agent, or he's talking about opting out to get a bigger deal. Maybe they could pull get rid of Chris Paul, bring in Dame, but Chris Paul's done a lot, and that would be very messed up if the Phoenix Suns did did Chris Paul like that. So where can he go? The Boston Celtics, would he want to go there? Because they have the picks. That's all they have is picks. They're not going to trade Jaylen Brown or Tatum. You would have to take on Kemba Walker if I'm Portland. Well, those are the 3 teams that I got to see. The Dallas Mavericks, the Miami Heat, and the Boston Celtics. There's not another place that he can go legit, start point guard, and win a championship. With that being said, even if he demanded a trade, where could he go? So it's most likely he could remain in Portland because there's not anywhere he can go. Unless the Phoenix Suns are willing to pull a Dabo Swinney with Kelly Bryant, starting quarterback, and I bring in Trevor Lawrence. That's essentially what will have to happen, where you have a starting point guard in Chris Paul who's playing great, and you get rid of him for a younger and better player. Are they willing to be Dabo Swinney? I don't know. He could demand a trade. He should demand a trade, but where will he go? Who knows? But it's most likely that he will end back up in Portland.